Hey there, Joe's Brother Head coming at you. Before I get started, just wanted to let you know real quick, I'm doing some new stuff here, thanks to Kevin, thanks to Jerry, but mainly thanks to Kevin. A lot of this, I'm doing a lot more stuff in the show while I'm actually recording it, showing it live. So we'll see how this goes. So bear with me as we'll get the show started.
Hi, I'm Larry Hama, and you're listening to G.I. Joe, a real American headcast. Yo, Joe.
G.I. Joe, the Real American Headcast, is the code name for Aaron's daring, highly trained headcast. Its purpose? To podcast about G.I. Joe, Fighting Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Hey there, Joe's. Aaron Moss, a.k.a. General Head, coming at you. And welcome to G.I. Joe, a Real American Headcast, episode number 45. So today I've gathered a couple of Joes to talk about some comic books, because that's what I do. I'm a big geek. Anyway, so let's welcome the first guest we have on the show. This is Mr. Jared Albrick.
That's a prescription for danger.
A.k.a. Death Probe. Jerry, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Made some changes while you've been gone and adding things into the show and trying to improve things a little bit. We'll see how it goes.
Man.
But yeah, getting a little more professional. Ooh, very nice. Already started and you're, beautiful.
Yeah, I started this while we were backstage a bit, so I'm going to be doodling during today's show, doing one of my book page sketches. Clearly, hopefully it's clearly by now. That's Quick Kick.
Oh, I thought it was
out of a page from the Infantry Rifle Platoon and Squad actual military manual.
Very nice. I love your artwork.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, very nice. Anyways, also joining us, we're not alone. This month we have Mr. Kevin Reitzel joining us.
What's going on? Okay, there we go. I was just gonna say you're producing on the go. Show the widescreen version of all of this because
Yes.
I want to make sure they can see all of Jared's drawing and what he does, the little things he has around his table there, and also want to make sure that you can see my issue number 43 hanging back there as well.
We need to talk about that.
43. We should cover that at some point.
Kevin Reitzel, aka Raider Nerd.
Hey, does Jared have his sound bite?
Yes. Oh, you couldn't hear when you're backstage, or
No.
Yeah, no. Jared's got.
There you go. Cool.
That's a prescription for danger.
I love it. It never gets old.
Every time I hear that, though, I'm used to hearing his brother with a little like weasel noise. Like, I listen to the Long Box Crusade or Action Film Face Off. So yeah.
Yes. We are here to talk about G.I. Joe issue 45. So before we get going, though, Kevin, how's things been going for you, buddy? I was like,
been doing really good, man. I'm excited to talk some Joe, and I'm going to be on our buddies Articulated Chad's show tomorrow, talking about the finest GI Joe costuming and stuff like that. So yeah,
I saw that. Very nice. I like your
make sure you check it out.
nice hat.
Thank you.
I thought about getting that as a tattoo on my arm. I just haven't gotten that far yet.
I also got my Cold Slither T-shirt on as well. Very nice. Show some love to the Cobra hair metal band, since hair metal is kind of one of my other loves. So yeah,
I love it.
Very nice. But anyways, we are here to talk about G.I. Joe issue number 45. So let's get talking about it, I guess. So this is G.I. Joe issue number 45. The title of this was called In Search of Candy. Let me see real quick. I'll go through the stats on this real quick. The cover date on this was March of 1986, but the on sale date was December the 10th, 1985. That's my middle son's birthday. Well, almost 10 years before, but actually 8 years before.
Too old.
I'm telling you. The cover price of this was 75 cents. Writer, as usual, Larry Hama. Penciler, Rod Wiggum. Inker, Andy Muschietzky. Letterer, Joseph Rosen, we're going to call him. Colorist, George Russo. And the cover credits by some guys that we've never heard of before.
Betty, Zack, Betty, Zack, Betty, Zack, Betty, Zack, Mike, Zack.
So it was a sound clip and I'm using them.
Oh man, I was like coming off mute to do my part and everything, man.
You get this, Mike.
Man, I don't even have to be here today.
Yes, the cover credits was done by the amazing Mike Zeck and John Beatty and edited by Dennis O'Neil. And this was reprinted in G.I. Joe Volume 5 trade paperback, which came out in 2003. And again, Mike's neglecting it, but also it looks like it was in Volume 4 of the complete collection. And Jared's got the complete collection. Both me and Mr. Kevin have the floppies. And neither one of us have them bent up and folded in our back pocket.
Quick question for the collective here. I was looking up information on this, and maybe you guys know more than I do, but apparently the Canadian price, I don't know if this is just the Canadian ones here, but the Mark the Jeweler jewelry insert was released in many comics throughout the late 70s till the late 90s, which was pictured here in an actual insert in Marvel issue number 45 for this G.I. Joe issue. And you can click a link on it and it shows like all these different rings that this guy sells. So this guy was just like pimping his stuff in Marvel Comics. Do you guys remember seeing those Mark the Jeweler ads?
Yes. Now that you mention it, yes, I do remember that.
Okay.
I want to say mostly I saw those pop up when I was reading comics in Germany. So that would have been 87, 90 is when I remember that the most.
Gotcha. Just thought that was pretty cool. So I'm looking at a screenshot of some of these, and basically it was a mail away jewelry order thing with these pictures. It was pretty interesting. Guy was pimping his stuff. Good for him. Go Mark.
Now that you mention, I do remember that. I believe it sounds familiar. But we're here to talk about the 45. So let's look at the cover first. So the cover, as you can see, if you're watching this on the stream, we got Ripcord stalking through the jungles. Behind him, we have Zartan slowly fading out, going invisible or coming visible, whichever it may be, with a bow and arrow pointed right at Ripcord's head. So let's get some thoughts on this issue. So Jared, my notes say I start with you. I must have been drunk when I did this. But anyways, as usual. But anyways, that's beside the point. Jared, what are your thoughts on this cover?
I think it's great. I mean, it's a Beatty Zeck, so of course I'm going to glow about it. Like you said, one of the coolest things about it is the camouflage job on Zartan, and that's pretty much, tip to the colorist on this one. So the colorist did a great job. I also really like Ripcord, and it is Ripcord, right? You know how I have the Ripcord airborne problem.
Yeah, we had that discussion earlier.
Okay, good. It's Ripcord. The Ripcord in the foreground, I really like the heavy use of shadow on his face. I especially like how the shadow from the helmet into the dark, what would be his right cheek, and then all you see is the white of his eye. It really gives it a great energy for this kind of cat and mouse cover. I like the shape of his nose. I think Beatty's ink work here is fantastic. It's one of those covers that tells the story that you're going to see in the book. So it's got a lot going for it. And I will hand it right over to Kevin.
So, Mr. Kevin Reitzel, bear with me as I attempt to do this.
Is Jared, I got to ask you, is Quick Kick there, is he doing like a little shadow puppet motion there? That's trying to figure out what you're doing with his hand there. Look kind of cool.
He's explaining something. This is actually when we did a cartoon episode. Remember where it's like he was doing a martial arts class at the beginning a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
This is like this pose caught my eye, and I was like, I like that pose. So that's that's the one I decided.
Feels like he's going to do like a shadow puppet demonstration or something.
He's definitely doing a demonstration lecture type of thing. I loved it, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
As for this cover, it's one of those covers that pops when it comes to G.I. Joe. And this is one of those as you're thumbing through that long box somewhere at a comic book shop somewhere, it just jumps out right at you too. And Zartan is one of those villains that has a lot of interesting history and depth. Not everyone cares for him on this show sometimes. But I remember when I first saw this, I didn't obviously recognize Ripcord. It kind of felt like, I guess my only issue with the cover is that it doesn't look like a Ripcord should look like, especially with that special helmet that he wears. He wears more something that you see like from Vietnam or something like that. Ripcord has a certain kind of look to him, and this looks like any regular Joe, but I love the camouflage on that, and I love the expression on his face, which I think is really cool. And this is where, you get one of those weapons that he's carrying. It looks a little more cartoony. It doesn't look as realistic as the one that he might pull out in the actual comic. But and then, of course, the bow and arrow that Zartan's using is not as fancy as the one that he is using in the comic itself. But it still gives you the idea of what's happening, and this could be a scene right out of the comic, or at least a good interpretation of it. Overall, it's a great cover.
And yes, I agree with both of you. Again, it takes me a minute to learn how to do this kind of stuff. Bear with me. For those watching from home, those watching or listening to it will never know this. The powers of editing. But no, yeah, like you guys have said, this is a great cover. The Ripcord, yeah, like Kevin said, I don't know if it's a great representation of Ripcord because we got real close up. And again, he's really angry at this point, which we find out in this issue why. Well, we actually know why if you've been paying attention to the show, and reading the comics. But I think the best thing about this cover, like I say, Ripcord looks really cool, but the best thing about this is Zartan in the background, as Jared talked about. He's blending into the foliage. He's camouflaging himself. So again, that is, I guess, the colorist, the inker. I guess mainly the colorist. I don't know if I wasn't listening to Jared, but yeah, no, this is
start now.
But no, this is a great representation of Zartan, showing him using his powers. And yeah, he's got a less fancy of a bow here than he does inside. It's not the big compound bow that he's used previously, but still a very nice shot. And yeah, like Kevin said, it's very much a representation of what happens in this issue, which is just, as we're going to get to, is just fantastic. So let's get some Yojo colors on this. We will go ahead and start with Kevin. If I can get Kevin back into the picture again. Kevin.
Good cover. I'm going to give it I'll give it a good 4 out of 5 Yojo Colas. I think that's a good comfortable spot for it. That puts it in one of the the better half of covers. And like I said, it just pops, and there's a lot of good G.I. Joe covers that pop, and there's a lot that don't. And this is definitely one of them that does. So it's a good 4 out of 5 Yojo Colas for me.
Very respectable number. I can't go wrong with it. You can't go wrong with that. Very nice. and Mr. Quick Kick. I mean, your yard sale artist himself, Jared. Out of 1 to 5 Yojo Colas, how many Yojo Colas do you give this cover?
I think I'm going to rock the boat a little bit and give it 4 out of 5.
Oh, very nice.
For pretty much the same reasons Kevin said. Like I said, all Zek and Beatties start at 4.
That's just at least a 4. So
yeah, and I really like it. I just know that there's some superstar 5 Zek and Beatties. This is not bad by any means. It's a good solid 4.
Very nice. And again, yeah, it's a very respectable number. I can't argue with that. On the other hand, I am going to give it, because again, I like it. I think I like it maybe a little bit more than you guys, or maybe it's just that this is my show and I don't care. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Not quite a 5, because yeah, there are a lot more better covers out there, but no, it's a great cover in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna give, because again, on any of the Headcast network shows, we don't mind halvesies.
That's gross.
I'm used to hearing that. Anyways, but so anyways, that is the cover. Let's go ahead and get a synopsis of this issue. I said that's not, I started my notes off saying there's not much in this issue, but it's jam-packed. I may have to disagree with myself as I read through this. Ace and Ripcord are doing an aerial recon of Cobra Island. During one of the night flyovers, Ripcord bails out over Cobra Island. Back at the pit, we're introduced to 2 new Joes, Alpine and Quick Kick. Over in Washington, General Austin announces that he's retiring and making Hawk a brigadier general and the commander-in-chief of the Joes. And that's all that happens this issue. Oh, almost forgot. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow head off to Cobra Island after learning who the killer of the Hardmaster is. Dun, dun, dun. Zartan.
What?
Yes, after all these issues, it's finally revealed that Zartan is the killer of Hardmaster. So, Kevin, Mr. Reitzel himself, do you have thoughts on this issue?
Yes. First of all, this was the first appearance by Alpine, Quick Kick, and the Terrordrome. And I love how the pictures were taken. They're like wondering, what's that circular thing down there? And I'm looking down there first going, that's the volcano, you idiots. And then I'm like, oh, the other thing. That's the other thing. Right. So I always remember that. And this, of course, is the issue where Hardmaster's killer is revealed. And we've been waiting for a long time with that. And I love how that we get the history of who was capable of doing that as it's being explained because of their bow and arrow archery skills and how that was done. And we get to also see that a little bit in the one-on-one with Ripcord. And that famous picture of Ripcord making sure, of course, that Ace has enough air, ejects himself, and he's doing the free fall. I actually replicated that a few times when I got the Ripcord figure, because I always loved having him either jump off buildings, like I think my Ripcord was base jumping before anyone else called it base jumping. I'm just saying. But I love that look. And I want to give a shout out to my good friend BJ Savage, who is part of the 501st Rebel Legion as well as the Finest. And he did a classic Ripcord costume, and it looks just like that as he's free falling. It's really, really cool. And this is where you get to see Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow start to work together, and I think that's really cool. And I love that reaction that Snake Eyes has reading that message.
Yes.
Even though he's a man of silence, you just see, I thought it was just done really well with that small little panel where he's like freaking out about what he's seeing, and it's being mentioned by the other Joes and stuff like that. And being a fan of Quick Kick, by the way, he's funny. He knows his movie knowledge, stuntman, I guess. And I like the fact that, he's introduced in this, but as of right now, I kind of like him better in the cartoon than I do the comics. I'm just going to say that for sure. We'll come back around to that. But this is a pivotal issue because of how so much is revealed. And I love it in the comics when you have Joes do their single missions, like when Clutch goes home, and was it issue 20 where he's free falling. It looks like he's going to die, and I love it when Joes take it upon themselves to do something. And it's kind of sad because when you're reading this, Candy's dead because, she died in issue 43, but he doesn't know that. He just knows that the father, Apple or Appel, however you were supposed to pronounce his name, is on Cobra Island. And he's kind of like the brains behind a lot of this. But he's going there because he's trying to find Candy. And it's kind of sad knowing what we know already. But this is the one that solidified not only who the killer is for the Hardmaster or Softmaster. Which am I getting confused here?
Hardmaster.
Thank you, Hardmaster.
Again,
but I love it. What's that?
Softmaster died last issue.
That's right. Thank you. But I love the fact that you get these single GI Joes becoming badasses, and Zartan's a badass, and I liked how you were able to see them go back and forth in this.
Very nice. Yes, I agree. Very nice. So let's go ahead, and even though my common sense is telling me not to do this, we'll go ahead and hear from Jared next. So Jared, do you have thoughts on this issue?
I mean, I imagine if I had actually read it, I would agree with Kevin. So
okay, let's go move on back over to me.
No, I do wholeheartedly agree.
I got to take a drink. Hold on.
So if you would have read this issue, you may not be confusing Ripcord and Airborne.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Anyway, carry on.
But no, I totally agree with him. I think, one of the reasons I get Ripcord and Airborne mixed up is, the grand scheme of things are kind of generic Joes, but this story arc really gives Ripcord a little more. And I really like that part about it. It's really neat to see this man on a mission. I really liked, as Kevin mentioned, how he was like making sure Ace got his air. He pops out and he's like, what the what? And meanwhile, back home, Hawk is like, yeah, I kind of quasi-planned that. It doesn't surprise me. I was like, that's kind of neat. And then, the whole unification of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, because now they have a bigger purpose together, which I think is leading up to that really cool cover with the two of them busting the door together. I think that's coming up soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And so everything Kevin said, just put an exclamation point after it, and I'll pass it to you, Aaron.
And real quick too, Hawk gets promoted. This is a big deal. He becomes the big cheese.
That's right.
He's the was it Brigadier General, and you see the stars that he gets, and that's a big deal in this one as well.
Yeah, it was funny because Aaron and I had that conversation like 2 episodes ago. Remember, Aaron? We were like, they're calling him Colonel. We were like, but isn't he General? Maybe he hasn't been promoted yet. Apparently, we should have just waited two episodes. We would have had all the answers.
The one you did alone. Yeah,
And it is General Austin talking to Ronald Reagan, because it's kind of, when you look at it, he's got a similar hairstyle, but the face, with the way it's drawn, and there's like some transmission issues. It could be Ronald Reagan or it could not be. I thought that was kind of funny, but that's a type of thing that made the comics feel a little more real world.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, he was president at the time. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was supposed to be Ronald Reagan. Yeah, I could definitely.
Commander in Chief, CNC.
They've got him phased out enough so you can't really tell. It could be timeless, but if you were reading this in 1984, 85, you would know that, that's probably Reagan. I agree. And now we'll move on to my thoughts. Again, bear with me a moment as I slowly learn how to use technology. There we are. So let's go ahead and go through.
You're getting it. Good job.
Good job. It just takes me a little bit, but I'll get it figured out. So let's go ahead and go to my thoughts on this. So on page 4, Quick Kick commenting on Snake Eyes and Spirit's lack of military dress. I've got further comments on that to come. Also on page 4, as I think it was Jared was talking about, when Snake Eyes learns who killed the Hardmaster. I mean, yeah, Snake Eyes isn't a talkative guy, but that look on his face is just something else. That was just awesome. It was just, showing the pain and the just like, oh my God, what the heck? Page 6, when Hawk revealed, as you guys talked about, Hawk revealed the plan that, he set Ripcord on the mission on purpose, knowing that he would go AWOL and that he, I guess, have to send a covert team in to locate them. Very nice. I like that. Hawk is, scheming and making plans behind the scenes, and he's not letting things just sit. Snake Eyes breaking into, I've got a page for that. There you go. Snake Eyes breaking into Storm Shadow's New York base. Very nice. And a couple of issues ago, maybe it was last issue, someone asked about the speed lines of a character, showing them moving very quickly.
Softmaster, right?
Yeah, it was.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
doing that.
That's all he did when he was either standing still or going like super speed.
So here we got one of Snake Eyes. I pulled that up to show. Yeah, the Snake Eyes. We got one of those Snake Eyes where he's got speed lines showing how quickly he's moving in on Storm Shadow.
He's got some Air Jordans on.
Something, yeah. No, it's a very nice image. I like that. But, and I do like, yeah, like you said, this is them teaming up. I mean, in the comics, Storm Shadow has never really been a Cobra in quotes. I mean, because early on issue, what was it, 26 and 27, I think it was, we found out that he was just hanging out the Cobras to find out who killed the Hardmaster. Whereas in the cartoon, he was always a Cobra. So Storm Shadow is one of those that the comic and the cartoon took totally different tracks with. And I like it, but I wish he was more of a bad guy to give Snake Eyes an enemy of his equal. But I do like when they're teaming up. So I'm undecided on that. I don't know. On page 9, we have Ripcord. He's where he's landing. He's hiding his chute, and he's out looking for the Professor. I just really like the way that page looks. It's just him sneaking around the beach after hiding everything. Again, I've got a shot of that. Just that determination, very much like it is on the cover, except for a different helmet. But it doesn't have Zartan behind him yet. But just that determination on his face that, I'm going to find out where Candy is at, and whether it kills somebody or not, that's all right.
I'm jump in and just mention the military authenticity there of Larry Hama. The by the numbers, land, bury the chute, get your gear squared away. It's very tactically correct.
And again, I would expect no less of Larry behind the wheel, but no, thank you for pointing that out. Yes, that's why I keep you on the show. I'm going to replace you with, the voice clips and all that, but I'm working on getting some of this with the military authenticity.
He's actually useful at moments, Aaron. Let's just be honest.
Hooray for me.
Very occasionally, yes. He and then he comes on and does these drawings of who is that Spirit? Can't quite tell. Oh no.
Dang it.
No, we get these awesome drawings of his also on the show. So yeah, I can't complain. Well, I could, but no one cares. No one listens. So, and then on page 10, we have Zartan leaving with his compound bow. And again, I like the lighting on that page, on that panel there. Not only do we get Cobra Commander and his hood right next to it, but yeah, we get Zartan and the lights from beneath lighting him up. The shadows on that. It's just a very nice image of Zartan coming out of the hidey hole with his.
That is nice. Yeah.
It's just a beautiful panel. And then on page 11, we get flashbacks about, I'm not sure this is the one. No, this is them taking off. Yeah, we get some flashbacks on the history of the death of the Hardmaster and what Storm Shadow's been up to and all that. So I do like that. And then that's not what I want. There you go. And then
digging these slides, man. These are cool.
Yes. Well, thank you, Kevin, for introducing me to that idea. Again, you're a great friend for doing that. It makes the show a lot better for those watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever they're at. They actually get, just besides looking at my ugly mug, they can actually look at slides and see. Anyway, so earlier I made a comment about Quick Kick's comment about they don't look very professionally attired or whatever, very lax dress code or whatever it was. Yeah, you've got some room to talk. You got no shirt on. Your bandana. Yeah, you're very, no, that's not very military dressed either. Again, I like it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, that's not very military. See, much like on that bottom panel right there. That's not very militaristic, if you ask me. But again, I could be wrong. I'm not in the military. That's why I have Jared here to let us know. Yeah, that is military.
I went to work shirtless several days when I was in the military.
But was that because you're a karate expert, or just because you're Jared and you like walk around shirtless?
It's because the air conditioner was out.
He wanted to show off his nipples. Come on.
That's what I was wondering, Kevin. I've heard rumors.
Yeah.
Pat talks. I heard what you did. Anyway, that's another story. Oh, page 16. I like this. We finally get the reveal and find out what happened, who killed the Hardmaster, how it happened, why they thought it was Storm Shadow.
That iconic picture of Storm Shadow and Zartan, like right next to each other, is really cool.
The merge, whatever it is. Yeah. The kind of like the old Spider-Man Spider Sense panel.
Bifurcated.
Again, Jared.
Yeah.
Just sure we keep you around longer, Jared. But yeah, no, that's why I pulled this panel up to show, because that was just a great image. And again, this is pulling all the strings together for the last when they start talking about this. Was it 26, 27? I think was when we first started talking about the death of the Hardmaster, and we got Snake Eyes' origin and why he was going after Storm Shadow. And again, I've complained about it before. I try not to complain about too much because, my blood pressure and heart condition and all that. But this whole area should have been Snake Eyes' origin, the movie, not that monstrosity we got.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
But I think me and Articulated Chad complained enough about that.
Yeah.
Page 18, Zartan fading out. I like that where Ripcord, or Airborne to some people, has Zartan in his crosshairs, and Zartan just starts fading out. I do like that image. That's a very nice shot of Zartan using his powers. And then we get the final page of Ripcord winning the fight. Let me try it one more time with me on the screen. Ripcord winning the fight and standing victorious. Says he's going to infiltrate the headquarters, and they're never going to.
Is it Ripcord?
It looks like Ripcord.
Is it, or is it a certain chameleon pretending to be Ripcord?
No, that wouldn't happen. That sounds exactly like something Ripcord would say. What are you talking?
I'm just saying.
I think it's Airborne.
Can't remember.
I couldn't remember either, because I was reading that panel. I was like, is that Zartan or is that Ripcord?
But yeah, we'll find out next issue more. But yeah, no, I do like the way that he comes up, and again, he's there by himself. But again, he doesn't give anything away about who he really might be if he's not. I was gonna say Airborne. If he's not Ripcord. But,
yes.
But no, and I do see where you're coming from, Jared. Airborne and Ripcord, they don't get a lot to do usually. But this is one reason why I remember Ripcord, and one reason why it annoyed me that one of the Wayans brothers played him in the first G.I. Joe movie, is because this storyline here where Ripcord actually, he gets a storyline, he gets something personal to do. The whole, Candy missing thing is a very moving story.
Ripcord was a little too jokey in that movie.
Yeah, no, he's Marlon Wayans, but they're like, he can do drama. Well, he didn't. And again, as I've talked about before, I've got problems when they change the race of a character to begin with. What's Ripcord? No one cares about Ripcord. He didn't do anything. Did you not read the comic? Either Ripcord or Airborne, one of the two had a very dramatic storyline, where apparently they infiltrated Cobra base. Well, maybe that isn't Airborne or Ripcord. I don't know at this point. I'm confused. No. Anyways, those are my thoughts on issue 45. So I thought there was some great great story. Great. Like I say, it wasn't a lot of different. Like I say, some issues they've got a million things going on. This is just like one main thing, but all these little sub factors going on around it. I forgot to make a note about that apparently, but yeah, this is where Hawk becomes Brigadier General Hawk. As me and Jared, as he mentioned earlier, got confused a couple issues ago. And isn't he already General Hawk? Wait a minute. Isn't that the toy? Wait a minute. What's going on? And so, yeah, like you said, if we would have waited to talk about it a couple of issues, we would have found our answer right here. So.
Yeah.
That's why we have to read these in, right?
That's why it helps to read these, yes, because
that's what they tell me.
I thought we were just talking about the covers, so good thing I read it.
Well, I've been telling Jared that for the last 45 issues, but he doesn't listen to me. So. As well as he shouldn't. But anyways, those are my thoughts on this issue. So let's go ahead and move on. There we go. Let's go and move on to the next segment, The Real American Hero. This is the Joe, Cobra, or somebody else that did something really cool and deserves some sort of special recognition. So let's go ahead and, look at this. I got my name listed first. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about my Real American Hero first this time. I'm going to give it to Zartan. Yeah, check my notes. Yeah, I'm going to give it to Zartan just because, well, I say Zartan's, he's a really, it was between him and Ripcord. This issue, I figured it's Zartan just because he's really cool. And again, is that Zartan then or is it Ripcord? We don't know. But no, I do like he's using his powers in this issue to, disappear and hide from Ripcord. We find out that he's the one that actually killed the Hardmaster and framed Storm Shadow for it, which they should have used in the. Anyways, that's another story entirely. But that's my Real American Hero for this issue is Zartan. Let's go ahead and move on to, and I guess I should do this the right way. Jared, who is your Real American Hero for this?
I gotta go Airborne on this one.
Airborne it is. Very good. Why do I keep suggesting?
Well, I mean, the low-hanging fruit, which was my nickname in college, by the way, the low-hanging fruit has got to be Ripcord. So you know what? I'll take it. Ripcord. I mean, like I said, he's a generic Joe. He doesn't get a lot of limelight, and he's got a particularly good and engaging story here with some neat sort of cat and mouse action. So yeah, let's give it to the man.
Oh no, I can't. Like I say, I was thinking about Ripcord, but I sell for Zartan. But now Ripcord's a very good choice to pick. Kevin, do you have a Real American Hero?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Storm Shadow because first of all, when Snake Eyes snuck into his little Waterhouse dojo, he was able to listen to him and treat him as a brother and work on this common goal to exact revenge on Zartan. But most importantly, he knew where exactly the Baroness kept her secret Rattler plane, and he could steal it, and that's what he did.
Yes. Yeah. That's another good. Storm Shadow, yeah.
Forget the Cobra Claws or the hang glider thing. He's like, let's go in style. I know where the Baroness keeps her stash.
There you go. Yeah, took his secret claws to get to the Baroness' secret base, and yeah, took off in one of her. And we get access. We got a Rattler. They're going to let us in. Let's go for it. No, yeah, fantastic choice. Very good. Also, again, as I've said, I steal from better shows because that's what I do. While I've got you on the screen, Kevin, was there a page of art?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to choose from here, and I submitted several to you guys, so you guys can kind of pick from them as well. Since I made the point about Ripcord, I'd like to mention the one where he ends up on the beach. And he's bearing a chute, and you just see this steel resolve in his face when he's walking up. I don't know if I showed that to you or not. Did I bring that one up? Yeah, that one right there. Go back. That one there. That one I just think is really cool because nothing is said, and you just see him get ready. And then I love how that last panel just zooms in on his face, and he's just like, he's basically Rambo. I'm going to kick some ass here and take some names. And
determination.
Yeah. And there's some other really cool kind of action ones that I submitted as well. But there's just something about that one that just pops. And I could see that as a cool poster. And I think Airborne looks great in it.
It does. It really does.
So is that going to be your page of Airborne bearing a chute? And
Airborne, Ripcord, whatever. They both jump.
Oh, saying they all look alike. All those white guys look alike. When Airborne's a white guy, he's supposed to be American Indian, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so Jared, what is your favorite page of art? Which page?
I like the one you have on screen right now for our listening audience. This is the part where basically Zartan and Ripcord / Airborne are having their cat and mouse, trying to get the better of each other. Zartan's got his bow and arrow. Ripcord has his machine gun with the big scope on it. To me, that's just like the scene of this issue. And so this is a great page of that scene, of that cat and mouse battle that is going on between those two characters. So that's why I picked it.
Very nice. And I had a couple pages lined up. I wasn't quite sure, but I think I'm going to pick this page here. It is page, if I got the number right, I think it's page 16. As Kevin talked about, we got the nice Spider-Man type Zartan Storm Shadow picture there in the middle. We get, again, kind of a recap and the reveal of who murdered the Hardmaster and why and how it happened. Well, not why, but how it happened and who actually was behind it. That's a very nice page. My runner-up, I have to show, is the last page, of course, with whoever this guy is, Airborne, Ripcord. We get confused on the show sometimes. Standing there, his hand in the
It's
air.
Zartan. It's Zartan.
Spoilers, Kevin.
Hey, look, he's all getting all fuzzy and changey, you know?
And he's all, I will infiltrate so they will never know.
And that is not a pose that excuse me. Jared, get me all confused here. Ripcord would not stand like that and do that.
Yes. No,
that's a Cobra pose.
Very much so. Yes. Yes, that's a Zartan pose I've ever seen one. But if you're following along at home, ignore this whole conversation until next issue if you don't want to be spoiled. Ripcord is standing, but that's a very nice, that's my runner-up because that's a very nice page of just him coming up out of the mud. And I like that the loser of the battle is laying there in the mud just in shadows, like, you got the crap beat out of me. So I do like this whole page is very.
I'm sorry, what was that noise that he's making?
I like that.
And one more time, just one more time, just so you can see. And so yeah, so we do see that someone has lost their little battle there. So I do like, nice image, but yeah, I am going to go for the one with the reveal of Zartan being the killer of the Hardmaster. I do like that one. But let me get back to my other shot. There we go. So let's go ahead and move on a little bit. Someone wanted to talk about the letters page. Postbox the Pit.
Yeah, something interesting kind of came up here, and it's mentioned in the trivia. And this is there is a reader that says issue number 40 G.I. Joe was a good job here. And a person goes on to say, what about a G.I. Joe movie? And the response to this letter is a well-known filmmaker has the option on the live action rights to the G.I. Joe. To G.I. Joe. Whether he makes a movie out of it or not is up to him. And so I thought that was fascinating. And I did a little, I guess, a deep dive when on our Fandom Podcast Network, we have a show called Couch Potato Theater. And we did 82 films this year, 1982, because they're all celebrating their 40th anniversary. And what came out 40 years ago? Well, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, early in the year. Later in the year, Megaforce came out. And a lot of fans of Megaforce will say, well, that was basically a G.I. Joe movie. Think about it. All these different characters, elite fighting force characters from around the world joined together to fight against tyranny and evil. And I found out that director Hal Needham, for those of you that don't know who Hal Needham is, he is a very famous stuntman, but he also directed several action films, including some Burt Reynolds films. You know, I think it was, what did he do? Smoking the Bandit and some other stuff like that. He's, you know, very, very got into directing. Well, turned out that he had interest in G.I. Joe. And I have a quote here saying, we know for a fact that director was planning a sequel called Deeds Not Words to Megaforce. Of course, that never happened because Megaforce failed at the movie box office because it was going up against E.T., Tron, a bunch of other ones. So that was DOA, and it ended the story of Megaforce. But what if it wasn't? Many have pointed out that Megaforce was like a live-action G.I. Joe Real American Hero cartoon and toy line film well before the 2009 film. and that many of the rumors surrounding that connection. Some have even suggested that director and creator of Megaforce, Hal Needham, attempted to secure the rights for G.I. Joe, and when he was turned down, he made Megaforce instead. Rumors, of course, but if you think about it, you guys have seen Megaforce, right?
Yeah.
Jared?
To my great shame, I have not, and I've always wanted to.
What?
Uh-oh.
What? Oh my God. Okay, that needs to be rectified. You need to go on your little fancy, whatever you call it, zip drive and pull down a Megaforce.
The problem is I don't have Megaforce on my Plex server.
Your Plexer, whatever. Go Plex it and get Megaforce. It is totally worth it. And when you watch it, and it came out in 1982, filmed in 81, and all of the vehicles in it are very G.I. Joe-ish.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah. And it's a fun movie, and there's a lot of different characters that have their little things going on, and they're from different areas. And Hal Needham obviously must have been a fan of G.I. Joe, because keep in mind, G.I. Joe obviously was more famous for the 12-inch line and been around for a long time. And they were starting to, in 82, of course, they dropped the comic, the Real American Hero comic, as well as the Hasbro line of 3 3/4 figures. So whoever this well-known director was, I don't know. If you guys do know, please let me know. We only know later on who actually had control of it later. But just a little interesting little tidbit there I did want to mention regarding that reader's comment and then what they answered in the post office box, a pit about a G.I. Joe movie. But we have Megaforce, and someone on this panel needs to go see it.
I think it might be me.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Aaron, you know it. You like it, right?
Oh yeah. I haven't seen it in years, but yeah, no, it's a great movie.
It's cheesy, of course. It's a PG film. No, you don't see anyone dying, so it's safe for kids, and it's very funny, and it's a lot of fun. Make sure you guys check it out. And for those of you that may not know, it does star Barry Bostwick as our hero, Ace Hunter, Michael Beck as Dallas. Michael Beck, of course, you guys know as Warriors. And Perseus Kambata, who played the really beautiful alien in the first Star Trek motion picture. Edward Mulhare is in it as well. So Henry Silva plays the fun-loving bad guy. How can you not like this guy? It's great. Make sure you check it out.
And yeah, so this was again not saying any names who needs to see it, but I won't mention his name. But this came out in 1980. This issue came out in December of 1985.
Yeah.
It was almost a year and a half later we got G.I. Joe the movie.
Yeah.
The cartoon one. So
and by the way, Jared, just so you know, this movie, Megaforce, is a good contender when you guys do the action film face-off if anything drops on 1982.
Oh, definitely. I'm
Check
on it.
this one out.
I'm
Trust
all
me.
over it. Yep.
And I know a guy that wouldn't mind being a guest on that particular episode. Just saying.
A guy you know? We will definitely keep you in mind, sir.
And actually, I'm looking on this thing called the Internets, and it looks like you can rent or buy it from Prime, Amazon Prime. I'm not seeing.
I think I purchased on iTunes for whatever it was at the time. So, but yeah, just so you know, though, for you diehard Megaforce fans, the pre-sale is sold out. But in Australia, they released a mega pack special edition celebrating the 40th anniversary, and they have new special features, including interviews with the stars, and they have a Megaforce hat, a Megaforce patch, some Megaforce posters, and a full new Blu-ray treatment of it. It is region, whatever Australia is. You have to have a multi-region player if you do end up finding it, but don't buy it. Make sure I get it first.
Very nice. There you go. So if you buy it, go ahead and send it to Kevin.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure he'd accept it. If several of you want to send it to him, I'm sure he'll accept several copies of it. So again, as we know, he's not opposed to owning several copies of something.
It's true. Yeah, especially Megaforce. But I did have an ad that I wanted to showcase here. Yeah, this one right here. So this is inside the original comics on page 6, if I remember correctly. It says, Captain's going to star in a Broadway show, and maybe you can star with him. If you're a girl between 10 and 14 who can sing, dance, and act up a storm, you might just be the person Cap's looking for. He needs a bundle of talent to play his very special friend in Captain America, a musical spectacular due to hit Broadway next spring. Interested? Send a photo and a background info to Linda Watson there on the address in New York, New York. Do it today. You wouldn't want to let Cap down, would you? First of all, a little creepy. But this is kind of funny because if you have been watching, let's say the Marvel MCU lately, especially the Hawkeye series, there is a Captain America musical that the family goes to in the beginning of that series because Captain America is presumably dead. So I find that funny how life imitates art. 40 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about signing up for this, but yeah, I was like a year too old and not a girl.
And you're not a girl.
You're not a girl. But, yeah, no, I do remember seeing that ad, yes. Oh, very nice.
I can do this all day. I could have been in it, just saying.
Oh, man.
Is that rough? Sorry.
And while you guys' ears rest, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to refill Yo-Jo Colas. We'll be right back. So bear with us. And
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Switch back to all of us. It's coming along very nicely, Jared.
Thank you. We are getting there.
You fill my water. Give me just 1 minute. Go and talk about me. I'll be right back.
Still looks like he's doing like a shadow puppet thing. Just saying. Can you put like a spear in his hand, like one of Lady J's javelins, maybe, or like a throwing star?
How about this? I'll just say yes.
He needs a bigger muscle. Yeah, you're working on that. Good. Yeah,
we're doing shaving now, bud.
So I guess he does shave his chest, so that's good. Yeah. Where's his nipple? Where's his nipple? His other one's being covered by his bandolier of shuriken. Okay, all right, because he's not a mutant. There it is. Okay, good. He's not Kyle XY. He needs to have a nipple there, so that's good. Yeah. I think you should do a speech bubble and just kind of like make him do like a Humphrey Bogart impression. I think that'd be good.
I should consult you on all these things.
I'm just saying, come on. It's yeah, that's what he does, or some type of movie trivia. Maybe a James Cagney. He's good at James Cagney, if I remember correctly. Yeah. I wonder if, what though? I wonder if he could do Kermit the Frog. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. He's not as good as Seth MacFarlane, but I'm sure he could do a Kermit the Frog. It'd be good.
Oh man. Yeah. This is a pose directly from that one episode we talked about. In fact, I'd wager to say it's at the 2 minute and 37-second mark of that episode.
Which means you have that episode still up right now, right?
Yeah, I have the still of it off screen that I'm using for reference.
That's pretty cool, though. Yeah, I think you got the smirk down for him, which is good. So,
that's the important part. Yeah. I always start every drawing with the face because you can't mess that up. Like if you mess, you just like start over. If you mess up the face, you get away with some fixings in other parts. But if you mess up that face, nope, start over.
It's almost like, where's my thumb? You see my thumb? Oh, I lost my thumb.
He's about to do the whole "I got your nose" bit.
Yeah. I do want to know what his aversion to shirts are, though. Where that came from?
Maybe he just chafes, and he
yeah. I guess, yeah.
Just chafes me, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got a recommendation for you if you haven't seen it already. By the way, as we were prepping for our next action film face-off, I just edited it last night. It's a Netflix exclusive called Extraction. Came out in 2020.
Yes, with Chris Hemsworth.
Yes, it was outstanding.
Great fight scene in that dwelling hallway.
Oh yeah,
it was fantastic. And
so,
the final shootout, the final like standoff on that bridge was fantastic.
Yeah, that movie was cool.
He's doing a sequel to that, by the way. His character has survived. So yeah,
I saw that.
Good. I'm looking forward to that. Good. I like it when the randomizer kind of drops on like the current year or something like that. I think that's cool.
Well, it dropped 2020 on me. So
Nice.
that's what I picked, and it dropped 1978 on Jason. So you'll see how well it does when it goes up against Superman the movie.
Nice. Okay. Well, it's interesting because that was COVID year, and there was like a lot of competition to sit your ass home and watch something interesting. So, yeah.
All right. So you ready to go, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jared.
Yeah. Good.
Right.
Get back into the show.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
Welcome back from the break. We're going to go ahead and I'm changing things up a little bit. Normally we dive right into the cartoon, but we're taking a bit of a break and we're doing something a little different. Again, advice from other podcasters greater than I am. I decided to move things around, and now we're going to do Postbox the Pit. Normally I've seen on a lot of other shows, read through everybody that's left a Facebook comment and all that. And I've had advice that, people ignore a lot of that. They skip through it. So I am going to, again, upon great advice from a friend, I'm going to mainly just go through and read off anyone that's comments that I feel deserve special attention or that we need to talk about. So these are people from Facebook. Again, our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/GI Joe. First one to bring up is Giles Gifford. Yeah, Gifford. He's always showing his custom GI Joes, and as we said, he is actually doing the custom GI Joes. So, some great figures there. Definitely check that out.
You said he had a big boa.
Yeah, most recently is his.
That's cool.
With a removable helmet, so you see his head.
Nice.
Yeah, check out the group where, like I say, they show up, and I see the most recent one he did, as of this recording, was Big Boa.
I like big boas, and I cannot lie.
Other brothers may deny. Anyways, we're getting off track again.
Little itty bitty boas.
With a round thing in my face. Anyway, Michael Kornakwa. I might be mispronouncing that. I'm sorry, Mike. The other day he shared his 1982. Well, I guess it wasn't his when he found online. 1982 Marvel Treasury edition of G.I. Joe #1. It was the Treasury edition, the larger ones. Apparently, him and several others thought that was actually what the G.I. Joe comics were like back then. Didn't realize that was the Treasury edition, the special edition of it. And then our very own Peppy Pat came on and said that he actually has his copy of it. So it's very nice.
Nobody likes to show off.
I'm sorry. What was that, Jared? I didn't hear things over you dropping names all the time.
Yeah, Mr. Zek Stalker.
Oh, man.
Wait, let me finish the sentence. Nobody likes to show off and listen to me.
There you go. That's better. Also on the Facebook group, Richard Cox is always sharing his YouTube videos, Outback Stew and all that. Definitely check out that. Christian Romero has been sharing that apparently he's started his G.I. Joe read-through on the trade paperbacks. As of this reading, he actually just said he's on his third trade paperback. And there was a little discussion about the artwork on the trade paperbacks. Apparently, J. Scott Campbell does the artwork for the trade paperbacks. Several people, myself amongst them, not a huge fan of Campbell's work, especially on G.I. Joe. I like the realistic styles that we got from Mike and Zach, Mike Beatty.
I'm sorry, who?
My mind switched off on me all of a sudden. From
Mike Zach, Mike Zach.
There we go. I need that as my ringtone. I really do.
Well, I've got 2 different clips of it, so let me know. I can send it to you and you can set it as a ringtone. Again, who needs Jared?
Mike Zach, Mike Zach with Betty Zach.
And also with Herb Trimpe's artwork and stuff. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan. What do you guys think? Since I got you on the show, J. Scott Campbell. I don't know if you've seen the trade paperbacks. Are you guys a fan of J. Scott Campbell's artwork, Kevin?
I'm not familiar with his name, to be honest with you.
He did I think he did June 13 or some of the Image stuff back in the day.
He did what? I'm sorry.
I think he did Gen 13, if I'm not mistaken.
Did a lot of the
I'm-
early covers for the Devil's Due run as well.
Oh, you mean for G.I. Joe?
Right.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I guess he's good because I remember liking pretty much almost all those covers. So
yeah, I like him a lot too.
Well, I guess on the panel, I'm the majority today, so that's all right. So I'm fine. I'm gonna go cry. No, Michael Karnaka, however you pronounce his name, he also posted an ad from an old magazine to join the Mobile Strike Force team, and he was just wondering what would happen if he clipped that out and nailed that in today with whatever amount required.
Oh, that would love if he got a response to that. That'd be so cool.
I'm sure at this point, it'd probably come back to him. User
Probably some insurance agency going, "What the hell is this?" And the owner looks at it going, "Oh, that's why we keep those damn things." All right, I got a box over here.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, that's funny. Pat's always throwing up promos for some G.I. Joe show he does. I can't remember the name of it. I don't know. Moving on. Oh, no, it's
Hey.
It's a hack job.
What the what?
when they invite a guest on and they invite someone bigger on, what do you expect?
That could happen to anybody.
But you guys more. Yeah, no, that's a great show. G.I. Joe Chronicles over on the Long Box Crusade Network.
Sir.
It's a great show. It's like I said, I enjoyed that run. Wasn't a fan of a lot of the covers because it's J. Scott Campbell, but that's another story entirely. But no, it's a great show. Pat and Jared, mainly Pat, does a great job on that show. David Finn, one of our newer listeners, has his own podcast called The Signal. One of his newer episodes he posted, he talked with Mr. Chuck Dixon, who did some G.I. Joe work in the 2000s, I believe it was, mid 2000s. Chuck Dixon did some work for, I forget it was the IDW series or if it was Devil's Due.
I feel like he's got his start in the Devil's Due era. We haven't got to that yet, but I feel like he picked up some work in there. And then I know he did some cool like miniseries in between there and sort of when IDW really ramped back up hard again. So yeah, definitely in that window. Yeah.
And Mike Pentone shared that at GameStop, they now have the Serpentor and the Cobra Fang Pops. I need to go check those out and get those because, again, I don't like the Pops, but I've got almost every G.I. Joe one. So what does that say about me? I have an obsession. And finally, Michael, again, Karanakawa, whatever. I mispronounced his name horribly. He posted an image from a guy named Michael Horse, who was on the show Twin Peaks. He thought he would have made a great Spirit if they would have done a movie back in the day. I'm not familiar with Michael Horse. I mean, the image looked pretty good, but I'm not familiar with that actor. So if you guys watched Twin Peaks and familiar with Michael Horse, but yeah, Twin Peaks wasn't in my vision at that time. I knew of it, but I never watched it. And also, I want to give some thanks to our Patreon subscribers. Again, at patreon.com/headcastnetwork. If you like what I'm doing on the show, go over there and throw a few bucks in the tin, and you can join these great guys. Gene Hendricks, who actually appeared on, I think, the last episode of Head Speaks, talking about Star Trek. And also is Mark Ross, a.k.a. Cluck Trent. A couple of our Patreon subscribers over there. Go over there and check out our Patreon. Would love to have you. Finally, before I get to the cartoon, something else I usually do at the end of the show, but I decided to throw right here. We have our Soldier of the Month. This is Joe. This is one of you guys out there that's done something great for the show. Again, I'm not beyond bribery or, anyone that does something that helps the show out, promotes the show, or does something else. This month, I keep mentioning one name over and over that's given me a lot of advice and points this last few months I've been using. Our Soldier of the Month is Kevin Reitzel, a.k.a. Raider Nerd.
I totally do deserve this.
I agree. That's why I'm giving it. So, yeah.
I'm on a serious note. I'm glad I can help my fellow brother here with StreamYard because it's been a wonderful experience for us, and not only experience but experiment. And I think actually I do need to give credit to Jared for introducing me to it first. and what you guys have been doing. And then Aaron, you introduced us, me and Kyle to it. And then we kind of took the ball and ran with it. And we feel that, we're helping each other out. And we've been introducing StreamYard to our other fellow podcasters. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Jared is the one that introduced me to StreamYard, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. I forget what I was using now, but
yeah, I was like, what is this weird Jared contraption here? What's going on?
we're all branched from the same family tree.
we all, like I said, I steal from your guys' shows and take what and so I appreciate all your advice, Kevin, especially the last couple of months.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Love you.
As I try to get my show a little more professional sounding and looking, especially for those watching.
Now put me on screen so I can say that I love you in person.
Yes. There we are. There's our.
There you go.
Hey, yeah. Thank you.
I love you, man. I love you.
I love you, man.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Talking to you.
To our Soldier of the Month, all of us here at the G.I. Joe, a Real American Headcast, and at the Headcast Network Studio, we salute you.
Boo.
I can mute you, sir. There you go.
Jared, I can't take my face off now. That's fine.
Let's go back to here. So I've muted Jared just because I'm tired of his attitude.
He's got a way of coming back.
Yes, he does. Anyways, now that's all done. Again, I'm going to say one last thank you very much, Kevin, as we move on to our next segments. As we move on to our next, this isn't working like I thought it would. I thought it was going to be the video or the. It's supposed to play the intro, but it's not playing video. So I will do it this way then.
Yo, Joe! He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra the enemy, fighting to save the day. He never gives up, he's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe is there.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe!
So it's supposed to be the video of the intro playing, but for some reason it's not playing like it's supposed to. So I'll have to play with that. But anyways, moving on. So this is G.I. Joe the cartoon. This episode is called The Captives of Cobra, Part 1. As it shows on the screen, it was written by Christy Marks, directed by John Gibbs and Terry Lennon. This first aired October the 29th of 1985. The synopsis. Cobra kidnaps family members of several G.I. Joe members and brainwashes them to obey the Baroness's commands. The Baroness commands the captives to attack the Joes in her attempt to retrieve the explosive crystals that Cobra created. That is The Captives of Cobra. So let's go ahead and get some thoughts on this. Yeah. Got paper rustling all over the place. Let's go ahead and start with all that paper rustling. I'll shake mine, but I don't want to shake my computer. I just got the hard drive for it. So, yeah, I'm editing my Starbright project here.
My page is bigger than his.
And my hard drive crashed on me.
I have very few notes. You can see them right here.
So let's go ahead and get some thoughts since I've got Jared on the screen.
Woo!
Start with Jared. So Jared
sucks. Jared sucks.
Well, that is the road going around, but I'm trying not to spread that too much. I mean, let's go ahead and get some thoughts from.
I'm gonna listen this time.
All right.
I don't need to.
Nice of you.
Because I don't want to listen. Oh,
I have actually very, very few here for this episode. Oh, I get my own background sound. Excellent.
I can't even hear him now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Probably for the best.
Again, this is all work in progress.
All right. So the guy at the beginning who didn't want to look suspicious looked suspicious as hell. I've never seen a guy try so hard to not look suspicious and make himself look suspicious.
I thought that was Major Blood at first.
Yeah, I did too. At one point, Gung Ho's like, "Oh, my mom's gonna make her famous gumbo." And so I made this note. It says, "Is there ever a moment where Gung Ho's mom is not making her famous gumbo?" Because I doubt it. Doubt it.
I agree.
Here's just a statement. I love the Toss and Cross. I remember when I got it for Christmas. It came with toll booth, the bridge layer. Yeah, I love that vehicle, so it's cool to see it in here. Brace yourselves, gentlemen, for this note that I took. All right, I'm going to ask you to steel your souls and not giggle after I finish reading the sentence. Storm Shadow is storing a 5.5-inch floppy in his pants.
Can't do it.
Yeah. Might be a 5 1/4 inch. I think it was a 5 1/4. Anyway,
it would be 5 1/4.
5 1/4 inch floppy is in his pants.
Oh, I only wish.
You're gonna like this one, Kevin. This one's for you, buddy. Did you notice when all the Joes went home to visit their families, only one of them stayed in uniform? Shipwreck doesn't ever change that outfit.
No, and he has that deep plunging shirt line all the time. That was such that and Chuck Norris always did that. You know, that always had that thing. Like if you watch Invasion USA,
yes.
He's got that all the way down there, man.
Oh man. Just 2 notes left. One says that Barbecue's dad, he's like in the middle of a firefight, and then he got kidnapped. Like I called that out of the fire, and I don't know how to end that metaphor because he went right from being in a serious actual firefighting problem to getting kidnapped. That's a weird 1-2 punch. And then my favorite, maybe I should do this for every episode now. I'm starting to think about make this a regular feature because, I teach leadership classes in my day job once a week. Been doing that for 20 years now. I should pick out the best leadership moment of each episode. For this one, I have to give to the Baroness, who gave the really good leadership guidance of, and I quote, "Do something."
I'm sorry. I thought it was Cobra Commander when she asked, "Tell me, Commander, who in the world would you never let come to harm?" And he goes, "Me."
Me.
Yes.
That's a good one. I'm going with do something.
But you know what? Make that a thing. Do that every time. Do a
I'll try
leadership
it.
segment. That'd be great.
I will try to see who has the best leadership moment. And for my money, it's got to be her going, "Do something."
That would be nice.
All right. That's it for me.
All right.
Very nice. And Mr. Raider Nerd. You got a long 20-sheet long page there, so go ahead and share your notes.
I'll be honest. Gumbo was the first time I remember hearing this. And I didn't try gumbo until about maybe 15 years later when I was in New Orleans, and I loved it. So, but I remembered Shipwreck, Mom, gumbo all the time. All right. Rock Mountain Cobra. Pretty cool spot to have a little secret hideout there. And I just really quickly, when stuff starts to go wrong with the experiment and the crystals start expanding and stuff's exploding, there's a scientist that gets into the front cockpit with the Cobra pilot in the Rattler, while the other Cobra trooper like kind of climbs in the back where the turret is. So I thought that was kind of interesting because gets pretty stanky in there. Okay, so Cobra has had a lot of really cool Cobra hideouts. I've brought this right. The Cobra architects need a pay raise, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought it was kind of funny, and I haven't been paying attention to where all of these Cobra hideouts have been. But Duke says secret Cobra facility, and then Gung Ho goes right here in the U.S. of A. Is that a big surprise?
I got a similar note. I had the same thought. I'm like, how many times have you guys been in the United States attacking Cobra bases? I mean, where's the surprise? Are you new to the team?
Now we got to give it to Cobra for finally coming up and using some weapons of mass destruction. They should have saved that sea conch, and used it, controlled all the men, one most powerful. I'm going to go back to that one where Baron is like melts that metal door. Where's that weapon? I'm bringing that back up again, but we get these explosive pink crystals. Pretty badass. Love the toll booth siding, just like you said, Jared. I love that bridge layer. That thing is just so cool. I think they should have sold an extender for it though on the toy, so you can make it like a yard long. I mean, how cool would that have been? Like, let's say you and your brother or sibling have beds right next to each other.
Oh,
you can
yeah.
make them reach over. But I don't think the toy reached that far, if I remember correctly. That just would have been cool.
I too would pay for an extender.
Yeah, no.
So
he's talking
because
about player.
Oh,
because these pink crystals were very acceptable to sound, and basically they were like this very explosive, volatile substance. I like how Duke said we need to initiate a zone of silence. Anyone else that could get smart in the cone silence?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, I want to give a little lowdown here of all of the plan for Cobra to hack into the Pentagon. And I thought it was funny that the Pentagon droid mouses with Storm Shadow hiding in one of them. Thought that was great. But apparently there was a bunch of those just moving around secret areas of the Pentagon. Doing what? I don't know, but it was convenient.
Delivering Cobra agents.
But I want to give a lowdown of the plan to capture Joe members. So Quick Kick lives in Watts, LA. They sent 4 Crimson Guardsmen, CG, and the twins to get his family. Okay. That's respectable. Okay. Scarlett O'Hara and her dojo in Atlanta and her kick-ass dad and brothers, they planned ahead for this. They sent Storm Shadow, and I counted, because I freeze-framed that overhead shot, 20 CGs were surrounding them.
That was good planning, like you said, though, because I wouldn't mind watching a spin-off of the O'Haras.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, man.
Well, they're talking about doing a Lady J spin-off series or something they've been talking about.
Yeah,
I agree with Jared. It doesn't happen often, but I agree with Jared that they should be doing a Scarlett's and family O'Haras.
Oh, agreed.
And have her and her dad and brothers kicking butt every week.
But if they're going to do the Lady J one, I wouldn't mind bringing back Adrian Padalecki. So bring her back, please. So if you were to guess what musical instrument would Thunder play, it's the drums. He was in Louisville, Kentucky, and it took 5 CGs to get his family. Side note, Thunder's sister, hot.
Yes.
Shipwreck and his plunging shirt line in San Diego took 2 CGs for his nephew. Clever, pulled him into the water while he was fishing. Okay. Spirit in New Mexico, 4 CGs on those what are those bikes called? The 4-wheeled bikes. What are they called?
Why do I want to say ferrets?
Yeah.
Ferrets, yes. I think you're right. Yes. So that was respectable. All right. Okay. Barbecue, firefighter in Boston, Massachusetts, took 4 CGs and 1 Baroness in disguise to help take them. On a side note, and this goes out to you guys and listeners, which G.I. Joe member hits on Thunder's sister first?
Shipwreck.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Jared, do you have a thought? Quick Kick, maybe?
I don't know if Shipwreck is into the ladies.
Huh?
Just saying.
That's actually an interesting point.
He's got a real people vibe going around. I'm just saying.
So what you're saying is his distant cousin shore leave might lead to something else.
It's one extreme or another with Shipwreck. Either he's not for the ladies or he's all about the ladies. I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, seeing how in the episode it was the Germ, he was hitting on CoverGirl.
Yeah, okay. So I think we got to go all about the ladies.
I think he's all about.
And he was. I like when he was sitting with it.
And he's gotten slapped before by girls, so I think he makes the first hit on Thunder's sister.
Yeah, so I think your assessment is right. I did want to mention, like, he was fishing with his nephew. It was his nephew, right?
Yes.
And the kid was like, "Man, I found I was adopted." He's like, "Hey, man, don't worry, I was adopted too." And the nephew was like, "All right."
So you guys aren't actually related at all.
Yeah. Does this mean I have to open my shirt all the way down to my belly button?
Yeah. The G.I. Joe pagers, I thought were kind of cool. about the right size, I would say, for that time frame as well. So the brainwashing machine starts. No Mindbender, come on. Can't throw in our first appearance of Mindbender here. Come on.
A little too soon for Mindbender.
Yeah, or Dr. Venom, maybe from the comic, something like that.
That would include.
Of course, Thunder's sister. She gets served first, and she becomes Cobra. Hot. The G.I. Joe Silver Mirage motorcycles make an appearance in this, and I was just like, please don't break on them. Please don't break on them. Please do not break on them. Okay, here's a deep cut. I don't know if I can share this. I'm going to try here, guys. So that big ATV that they all got in, you guys remember that?
Yep.
All right. It reminded me of this. Can you see this?
Nope.
I can't. But
Let me
if it
see
has
if
anything
I
to do with the
can.
really early
Let me
issue
hit
of
share
G.I.
here,
Joe
first of all.
and the October Guard, then
Yes, thank you.
That's what I thought of.
Yes, the rough terrain vehicle. I don't know if I guess I can't bring it up right now.
Maybe
but
Aaron has to approve the share. Sometimes that's the way it is.
That's all right. But if you go back to issue number 6, they're talking about dropping into Afghanistan, and they all those crates drop into the desert, and they have to build this thing. So you thought that too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they have those big round balloon wheels that can withstand arrows and bullets, apparently. And this vehicle, doesn't have a name in this cartoon episode, but it's kind of like a combination of other vehicles. But that's what I thought of. And thank you, Jared, for thinking of that as well.
You're not crazy, or we both are.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know which way it is, but
what's that, Jared? Or what's that, Aaron?
I'm sorry. Jared said either you're both crazy or neither of you is crazy. Well, I don't know if I want to comment on that. But, and actually, while we're talking, just real quick.
Oh wait, there it is. I got it up. Can you get the picture up right there? I brought it up.
I brought it up. Is that what you're referring to?
Do you see it below where I have it up in the stream here? Can you add that?
Let me see real quick.
Down below our picture. It's it.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and add that there. That's the one I'm talking about. RTV.
There you go.
Yeah, yes. Rough terrain vehicle. I thought that was really cool. It reminded me of that because I loved that in the comic, and I love it when they were building it out of those crates. Just a really. I wish they had made that as a toy. I thought that would
very nice. That would have been, yes.
But anyway, I just wanted to show that to you guys real quick, and yeah. So we get a little a cliffhanger here. They realize that all the family members have been brainwashed and they're ready to attack. And I want to ask you guys this. There's several 2-parters throughout the G.I. Joe series. And then we get the miniseries as well. I always enjoyed the 2-parters. I always thought they were the better episodes. And I wanted to kind of open that up to discussion of what you guys thought about that, because it gives a little more deep dive into the plot. And I like the idea of having to wait till next week when I was a kid going, oh my God, what's going to happen? Instead of just having one contained episode all the time. Thoughts?
Well, I'll comment real quick. I've commented on this before. I think most of my favorite episodes of the cartoon are the multi-part episodes, whether it's the 5 parts, the Spencer Rise, or the all the other ones they've done, or these 2 parts, the Captives of Cobra, No Way, or the Worlds Without End. Yeah, all these 2 parts, I tend to be my favorite episodes.
Yeah. Jared?
Jared?
If I actually watched these episodes, I would probably like the...
Why do I bother?
No, I agree with you, Kevin. One of my favorite things is to have that little cliffhanger, something you could talk with your buddies about, like if you were a kid, like you buddies at the lunch table, like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, just because it makes the show stay on your mind, for that extra week. So yeah, I agree with you, Kevin, that extra little dash is and Aaron too. You said you enjoyed them as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we all like them.
Yeah, those are my favorite ones.
And what's cool too is when I looked up this episode on GIJoFandom.com wiki, they actually bring that note up regarding the design of the large G.I. Joe ATV is similar to the RTV from G.I. Joe number 6. Right. And they also said that the crystals in this episode seem to be a recycled plot point from the Transformers episode, A Prime Problem, where in that episode, there are highly volatile crystals on a mountain that the villains want to use as a weapon.
I wonder if they're related.
And when the Baroness pulls off her mask, she's already wearing her glasses underneath it. That's not an error or a goof, because I do that with my costumes. I need to see, so I make sure my costumes that go over my head can fit my glasses. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Very nice. Okay. And
show yourself, Aaron. Can't see you.
I'm working on it. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Working on it. There I am. I was working on it. It's a little slow at times. Again, I'm learning. So anyways, my thoughts. Again, I'd shake my paper, but my computer may not like that. So we'll go ahead and not shake that right now. So my thoughts on this. Well, again, before I comment, I don't have a note about Thunder Sister being hot. I was going to write that down, but then
I took care of that for you.
Well, not only that, but they mentioned she was a teenager.
And she was reading a teen magazine. Yes.
So yeah, being 52 years old, I thought that may be bad form to say she was hot. But
yeah, but when did we first see this? What age were we?
True.
Was it appropriate? You know.
Yes, it was when I first saw this. I was 15 when I first saw this, so I was age appropriate.
Yeah, and it's also important to note too that Jared is being very uncomfortably silent right now.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
There he is. He doesn't know. I thought it was all this talk about a teenage girl being hot and not knowing where to comment on. But yeah, so I did have some comments in my head on her being hot, but I'm like, a 52-year-old saying that may
leave that to Kevin.
Suspicious, but speaking of suspicious, again, Jared made this comment. I don't want to look suspicious. Oh, you look suspicious. You look shady, more shady than Slim Shady.
Shady AF.
And you both made this comment, gung ho, talking about his mom making gumbo. Like that, Cobra's going to pay for this. I did like that comment. Apparently, we all did. Again, as you guys have said, a Cobra facility in the USA, they haven't had any before. Really? Is this a surprise? I like that the Joes are on vacation with their families, the same one that Cobra's able to kidnap. They're the only ones able to get information from. I thought that was a little wonky at first. I'm like, well, maybe because they got stopped and these were the last files pulled up, so that's why they pulled them up. So I was able to kind of explain that away when I first questioned it. My next note on here is way to go, Tripwire. Cause that rock to tumble even further down the hill. Causing it to explode. Yeah. Way to go, Tripwire. Again, yeah, I've got a note here about a 5 1/4-inch floppy drive. And shoving down the front of your pants, honestly, as a computer person, as someone that had an Apple II C that had the 5 1/4 floppy, yeah, you don't want to be shoving those down the front of your pants. They get messed up. They don't work too well.
And plus, there's ninja sweat you got to deal with. It's a mess.
None of that is good for a 5 1/4 floppy disk drive. Those are very fragile. Trust me on this. And then there's the whole 5 1/4 in his pants, but that's I wish I'd 5. Never mind. Anyway, came on. Can't even speak now. Tomax and Zaymont, a couple of Brad's favorites, introducing themselves. It seems like it's the first time they're on the show. I know we've seen them before, but the way they introduce themselves, let me introduce you to the Crimson Guard leaders. We've seen them before. Why is this seeming like the first time we've seen them? I like how Scarlett's father and brothers greet her. She walks into the JoJo and they attack her just to see how her fighting skills is. I have another note here that I'd like to tangle with Scarlett, but that's another story entirely.
Oh, that's fair.
Fair, yeah.
Because again, as someone on our show is wont to say, hot. I am half surprised they didn't send Storm Shadow to take out the Asian family. Just me. But and when Thunder takes off on his motorcycle, it looks like his sweater changes into his jacket, or maybe the coloring's off. A little odd. I know Kevin's too busy looking at the younger sister to pay attention to that.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the Spirit family segment is borderline racist or not. They're an Indian group, so they have these, Indian customs and all that. Nowadays, I think that may come across as racist. Maybe just I've read too many Facebook posts, but when
culturally insensitive, maybe.
Yes. There you go.
They straight up was like, "Hey, you still working for the white man?" I was like, "Oh, this got awkward fast."
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if that would fly if that was there in this episode today. I think people may complain about that somewhere. Maybe it's just me again. I'm not an artist. The interior scenes at the firehouse when Barbecue shows up with his dad, it looks a little wonky, just the way it's drawn. I don't know if they were in a hurry or maybe just my eyesight, but yeah, the art on that looked a little wonky for me. Jared, did you notice that, or is it just me?
If I had watched it, I probably would have noticed it. But
I don't want to do it. Anyways, I was going to ask why send the Baroness disguised as a guy when they have Zartan that's a master disguise. But then I got thinking, again, I answered my own question. I guess with the Baroness, they don't have to pay the Baroness extra, where Zartan's a mercenary. They have to pay him to do it.
She's in-house. Yeah.
Cobra Commander can save some money and allows them to put more decals on things. So that's he'd rather spend the money and have Baroness put a mask over her glasses and go in as a guy and just put up a few more Cobra decals across the place. So I'm with that. And I've got a note here. I can't wait for the Dusty classified figure to come out. They showed an image of Dusty. I like Dusty, so I can't wait for that figure to come out. I do like when they were brainwashing everybody, and the doctor actually said that Cobra soldiers don't have a strong willpower. He's not wrong. It's, at least he's honest. And I guess you guys talked about the disc and the machine they used to brainwash the Joe's family members. I guess that's the new version of the Cobra headbands they used to use to brainwash people. Now they got the machine with the little disc to maybe work a little better. We'll see. We'll find out next episode. And my final note I have on here is what motorcycles were the Joes on? I remember the past issues, someone complained about that type of motorcycle. And I saw
Mirages, those toys kept coming apart. The sidecar and that little plastic thing, and the gun would come off. They were just horrible. Give me the Ram. They need to go back to the Ram. Not to mention the big gun on the Ram. Come on.
Yeah, I'm watching that, and I see him on the Mirage, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to make heaven's day.
I am so bitter about that toy, I'll tell you right now.
I know. That's why I had to mention it again. And as I did say a couple episodes ago, I do know that on our G.I. Joe role-playing game we do, we were going to this biker bar. We got to choose vehicles, and some shows like the Jeep and stuff. A couple of shows motorcycles. And what did we choose? We chose the Ram.
Yeah, did you guys roll a 1?
No. Well, we chose to take the Ram.
Was there a discussion of which one not to choose?
No, I think it was just unanimous. You know what? Which do you want to take? I'll take no Mirage. We'll take the Ram.
Okay, smart decision.
Yeah. So yeah, the Mirage didn't even come up in the discussion. We'll take the Ram. That's the better motorcycle all the way around. So, but after I bring that out, because again, I know that Kevin has made a comment before that.
Give me the trouble bubble over that damn Mirage, man. Jeez.
Hey, I don't hear anything bad about the trouble.
Easy, everybody calm down.
You don't want that's it. He's gone.
Oh no.
Trouble bubble and
I'll take the Buzzbore over the Mirage.
In fact, they've announced that they are doing a trouble bubble for the classified line at some point. So I'm gonna have to wait probably 5 years for it because Hasbro sucks. But
they'll crowdfund it at the low price of $185.
Don't give them any ideas. But yeah, moving on to the trouble bubbles. Yes, I was excited to hear that because again, as we all know, someone on the show loves trouble bubbles. In fact, again, on the role-playing game, I told the game, he's like, was there anything you guys want to see? Anything you guys want to do? I'm like, I want a trouble bubble. At some point, I want a trouble bubble. And we did find one. I just got to make sure it's in operating order and start driving it. So, but anyways, I'm talking about the G.I. Joe role-playing game. So I guess I'm talking about the cartoon. Any other thoughts on the cartoon, Jared?
No, man. I hope I'm around next month for part 2 so I can see how this ends up. Good times.
I'll make sure you're not. I mean, and then Jared, Kevin, any thoughts on any more thoughts?
I just liked how the Baroness got sassy with Cobra Commander. She was able to give it right back to him. I think that was kind of funny. And I think when it comes to certain things, she pretty much wears the pants for Cobra.
Yeah.
Just when you think about it, she's got a lot of sway, and she's got, Cobra rattlers hidden around the stage that she can escape in, which I think is great. But there was a couple of glitches I thought was interesting too. The ferrets were colored green rather than the usual blue.
right.
in this, which I thought was weird. And in one shot, Quick Kick is wearing Shipwreck shirt. He's going, let me try this out. Let me cover my nipples. Oh, they don't. Oh, well.
Oh, they chafe. Oh, they chafe.
Oh, we're talking about Shipwreck, and his shirt's open down to the middle of his chest. Reminds me over on our, me and the wife do a Voyagers podcast. Again, not Star Trek Voyagers, the time travel show from 1982. And the main character on there, his name's Bog. He wears a pirate type shirt, and it's always open down to his belly button. So, and the wife's always
I knew a guy in middle school that did that, and unfortunately, he got away with it.
Kevin.
He was a wrestler.
Explains it. But unless you gentlemen have anything else to talk about on either the episode or the issue that we've missed, I guess we'll go and do a sign off. So,
wait, hold on. Do we have to pick our hero from this one as well, or do we just do the comic?
Do from the comic.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to. I'm just with Jared that I think Scarlett's father would get the American hero on this, because you're right. I want to see that spinoff with her family.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, I would rather see O'Hara's TV show. Nothing against Lady J or what's her name? Help me out, Kevin.
CoverGirl.
No, the actress.
Wolverine.
Oh, Adrian Padalecki.
Spider-Man.
Thank you.
Spider-Man.
Tired of his I removed Jared from the show now. Anyways, but no offense to Adrian Padalecki or Lady J, but I'd much rather have the O'Haras as a TV show and seeing Scarlett and her family, and
that would be cool.
That'd be a great weekly adventure. But that's going to do it for this episode. Jared, if the listeners out there want to hear more about you, I don't know why they would, but if they want to hear more about you, do you do any podcasting or anything?
I do. You can find me on the Long Box Crusade Network for all your podcasting needs. And of course, if you want to chat with me personally, I am at Yard Sale Artist, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. It's all at Yard Sale Artist. You can check out my wares, not unlike this quick kick that I drew during today's discussion.
What's his hand doing again?
He's explaining things. www.theyardsaleartist.com.
Very nice. And oops, God bless it there. Moving from the show instead of doing that. Kevin, there you are. If people want to hear more about you and more from you, where can they go?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Spartan_Phoenix. And please check out our Fandom Podcast Network on YouTube and at fpnet.podbean.com. We got a lot of great shows up there. A few that I host myself are Bloody Kings, our Highlander podcast. Also Couch Potato Theater is one I do where we celebrate our favorite movies. Like I said, we just did a wonderful Couch Potato Theater for Megaforce, and also do the Hair Metal podcast. Big fan on there. But we also got shows for Star Trek, Union Federation. We also cover the Orville on there. We got a Type 40 Doctor Who podcast. Lethal Mullet, my friend Adam does that one. That's an action film podcast covering the 80s and the 90s and beyond. And we also have True Believers, our MCU podcast. And right now we are talking about She-Hulk. And we've merged with the BQN with several podcasts they do for Star Trek called Galaxy Class and All Good Things. And make sure you check out the Fandom Podcast Network, especially on YouTube. We got a lot. If you're a nerd, we got a show for all of you there.
Very good. And thank you. And before I forgot to flash up Jared's little, there we go. He's at the Long Box Crusade. I was going to throw that up for the viewers that's watching at home.
Why, thank you.
Just to show them if you want more on Jared, you go to Long Box Crusade. Again, why would you? But anyways, movie. I don't know why Jared heads up with me. Anyways, again, as I've said, I want to thank everyone that's listening to the show, that's watching it live, anyone that's listening to the podcast. I thank you guys, and a extra special thanks to my guests, Kevin and Jared. For more from me, again, I am on the Headcast Network. Right now, my podcast feed for the Headcast Network's down. Well, it's still up, but it's not being updated because I messed up somewhere. And anyways, I've got a bunch of different shows. I took the month of August off because I got behind, and I'm also working on some specials for my Starbright project because September the 19th, Quantum Leap, the TV show, returns to NBC. So our Starbright project, we are doing some special episodes on that. In fact, we're doing a giveaway. listen to the show to find out how to enter the giveaway. If you're interested, we're giving away a Blu-ray copy of the entire Quantum Leap. Well, it's called the Quantum Leap series, but I'm calling it seasons 1 through 5 because we're kind of looking at this new season as season 6. So we're hoping it's going to be as good as the original show. But I've also got my other shows. I got Voyager's Cast, as I mentioned, where we talk about the Voyager's TV series from 1982. And then I've got my regular shows, Head Speaks, where I talk about anything geeky. Right now I'm going through the Power of the Atom series from DC Comics. We have this show, G.I. Joe, a Real American Headcast, which has gone weekly. Between this episode, this show, Bravo Team, we talk about everything else G.I. Joe related. And then our bi-weekly G.I. Joe, The Adventure Continues, where I record the role-playing game and air that as the podcast episodes. And as I'm talking, I see Jared doing things in the background, making me chuckle. And but anyways, and I've got my I got the Task Force X podcast and the Starman Adventure Hour. Come check out all my shows and be sure to let us know what you think. Send an email to gijoe@headcastnetwork.com. Let us know your thoughts. And you can call. There's a phone number that's on the screen. If you're watching, it's 559-500-3182. Again, that's 1-559-500-3182. Leave a voicemail. Let us know what you think about the show. Do you enjoy Jared's antics? Or do you think he's silly? Do you want me to get rid of him? Let me know what you guys think. And as he's on the phone as I'm talking, I bring everything up. Show with that, Jared. And anyways, I want to thank you, gentlemen, both very much for joining me today. And we will see you guys next month for episode 46. Until next month, remember, knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Oh. Hey, Aaron, this is Jared. I'm calling that voicemail you just talked about on the show. I just want to let you know I think Jared did particularly well on this episode. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, Aaron, this is Steve. Just wanted to call in and let you know that Kevin guy's kind of creepy. You shouldn't have him on anymore.
We agree. That's why I'm on.
But that Jared guy is kind of hot. Make sure he's on all the time.
I'm going to go shirtless from now on.
It only works if you wear the suspender type things that Dr. Mindbender has and the whole cod piece and, you know. Unless you're a master of martial arts, then you can get away with it.
Hey, anybody here go to Dragon Con?
No, I don't have the money.
It's coming up, and I got other stuff planned. So,
bye.
Are you going to be there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's where I met you for the first and only time.
That's right.
In the broadcast.
That's right. Yeah.